When composing new mail, it is very simple to attach documents from SharePoint. I simply drag the document from SharePoint into the new mail message, and an attachment is created. If I'm composing this email to a colleague of mine who also has access to SharePoint, it makes more sense to attach a link to the document. That can be done by holding the Alt key while dragging and dropping, and a link is created. This is a great way to save disk space in your company inboxes. Dragging documents to and from SharePoint is not limited to Notes Mail. This works in all Notes applications. So for example, I can drag an attachment to this calendar entry in the same way. I can also make attachments from my inbox available to my entire team. I drag the attachment to the SharePoint document library in the Notes sidebar panel, and immediately my entire team can start working on the document. You probably all receive these annoying emails with gigantic attachments from colleagues. You might want to let them in on this new feature in SharePoint Integrator. From the new message toolbar, there's a SharePoint button with the option of saving attachments to SharePoint and send links. When this option is checked and I'm sending an email, it will take all my attachments and upload it to a document library of my choice and replace the attachments with links. Let's take a look at how this works. I'm attaching a local document here, something available on my desktop. And when I'm sending the email, it uploads the document. Here you can see it. And if we take a look in the Sent folder, we see that the actual email does not contain any attachment. It doesn't have the attachment icon, and it's only 4K large. Hovering the attachment icon, we see that in the status bar in Lotus Notes, it only points to a URL on SharePoint. I just saved disk space and shared a new document with my colleagues, promoting even more collaboration. As Jakov said, with SharePoint Integrator, I can share important email messages with colleagues and even with people outside my organization. I'm switching over now to the Sales document library, where you'll be able to see both email messages and Office documents side by side. For example, I want to publish this email about a customer win, and I want to share it with both colleagues and board members outside our intranet. I drag it to SharePoint using the Notes sidebar panel, and now users can search for, browse to, and open the email message, including all attachments. And this email message was previously locked in my inbox. Colleagues that weren't recipients of the original email message can now treat the email as if they had received it. And, for example, they can forward it. I can also upload email messages that I'm currently reading using the SharePoint button and save email to SharePoint. And in the email documents properties pane, I can see that all the email headers have been preserved as SharePoint columns. Let's take a look at how these emails are stored and displayed on the web browser. Switching over to the Sales document library again. And here, the board members outside our intranet can use the web interface to access the documents on SharePoint. This email view renders the document library similar to an email inbox. This allows the board members to find the information they need by, for example, sorting by sender or any other column. And email messages uploaded to SharePoint preserve their formatting. Here is the HTML view of the email I just uploaded. Emails are stored on SharePoint in the standard EML format, which is derived from the SMTP protocol. Attachments are stored inside the email file to preserve the integrity of the original email message. As you may know, all SharePoint documents have associated metadata used for business information, such as which department or project the document belongs to. Metadata can, for example, be used to classify shared documents or control workflow and approval processes. This particular document library is set up to work with confidentiality levels on all documents. When I upload a document to here, I'm not able to share it with other users until I've set the required fields of the metadata. Required fields are indicated by a red dot, while read-only fields are dimmed. So let's set the confidentiality level as well as the corporate sponsor of the document. We do that by searching for another SharePoint user. I'm now able to check in the document and make it available to the rest of the document library users. Document approval and workflow status can also be set from the Properties pane. For example, this document is waiting for my approval. As we've seen, SharePoint Integrator makes it easy for Lotus Notes users to publish information on SharePoint. SharePoint Integrator accelerates the adoption of SharePoint within organizations using Notes. Now I'm turning the presentation back to Yakov.